gang, Spada here, and I got a box from my good friends at BigBadToyStore.com. So let's go ahead and open the box. Alright, what do we got here? According to the manifesto, we've got a Shadow Warrior. Yay! Shadow Warrior's here, finally. Alright, bubble wrap. And... what the hell? There's nothing in here. Wait a minute, let me look at the bubble wrap. Oh, wait, something's in the bubble wrap, and... oh, come on! I knew it was small. I didn't think it was this small. Holy crap! Okay, so it looks like Shadow Warrior is rather tiny. Okay, here's Shadow Warrior. Here's Dude Runner. Oh my god, that is a small box. Wow. I really don't know what to say to that. That is a really tiny box. This guy is, minuscule. That's the only word I can think of, is minuscule. But, here is PEO1, Shadow Warrior. Okay. Let's, open this little bag of box of cards. Actually, it's about the size of a thing of cards, like playing cards. Wow. Oh my god, that is small. Holy crap. I am actually really surprised at the size of this thing. I mean, I knew he was going to be a little smaller than a Scout. I didn't think he would be... hold on for just a second. I'll be right back.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'm right back here, and I went downstairs and grabbed Target Master Nightstick from my Cyclonus figure to give you an idea of the size difference. And then I've also got Legends Bumblebee from the Universe line here to show you the size difference. So, as you can see, Universe Bumblebee is significantly larger. For almost 35 bucks, I'm a little bit disappointed in the size of this guy. I mean, that doesn't yield a lot. I mean, this guy is $7. Now, this is a fan project, not fans project, but it is a figure that was created by a group of fans. So, on one hand, I can understand the price tag, given that it's a limited figure, but it is really, really tiny. I'm really surprised at the fact that it's so small. Comes with a couple of accessories to make it look more like Frenzy and Rumble. You can add these nice little guns onto his back, which is very cool. It looks very, very cool like that. I actually really, really dig him looking like that. Then on his arms, you could place these things, but you have to disconnect them from each other. They don't just snap apart. There's actually a peg there that I am really, really worried about is going to just snap, because I already see some tension scratching on it. But they both attach onto the sides of his arms, like that. So you can get some pylon action going. And you can pose him actually pretty well like this, which is really nice. I'm really happy that you can pose him so that it looks like he's actually doing ground pounding. That's very cool. He also comes with a very little gun that he can hold. I mean, this This thing is tiny. I've seen, now, I have seen model pieces smaller than this, but still, it is really, really tiny. So, you can just, also, I've just realized, it doesn't fit in his fist. Wonderful. Well, it could go on his arm. That works fine. But here are the directions. The directions are just a couple of panels. So, I mean, here are the directions. They're nice. They're easy to understand. They're not really in English, but who cares? Ah, that's what this little gun is for. I'll show you that in a minute. Forgive me, when I first opened the figure, I was a little bit taken aback and didn't look at the directions all the way. So, his other form is more of a Target Master mode, so let's go ahead and get him in that mode. It doesn't actually show it in the directions, but these parts do open up like this. The joints are really very tight, so you have to be a little bit careful. But when you do that, you can take one of these guns and put them inside, and that actually makes it... Okay, I need the other gun because that is going to get in the way. So, there we go. There's one. And there's two. And then we're going to slide these back together. This peg will go into that slot, so you just peg it in and there you go. Alright, so the transformation is actually pretty easy, but you've really got to line things up correctly. First we're going to do is join the legs. And then we're going to take the head, turn it around, and drop it down into the chest cavity. When you do that, it pushes out this peg. I don't know how well you can see the peg. Next thing we're going to do is take this unit here and just give me a second. Okay. Make sure the figure is like this, and then slide the unit over the forearms. This is really actually a lot harder than it looks because the forearms don't... You have to line those forearms up just right. If they're not lined up perfectly, it doesn't go on. Now, it's not as easy as I made it look the first few times. Next, we'll twist the legs around and then fold the feet up. Take this whole section, and these pegs right here will fit onto slots that are on the weapon part, and you'll hear it snap. Next, we're going to fold the arms up, and they'll snap into place right at the legs. So here we have a nice, compact little weapon of mass destruction. This peg right here is made to go onto the Commander trailer that comes with, oh, what's his name? Ultra Magnus, or Nemesis Prime, or Optimus Prime, you know, the Commander trailer. So just for a comparison on size, we will show Nightstick here. So here's Nightstick, and here's Shadow Warrior. Shadow Warrior is significantly larger. So there's Nightstick. I have to say, as a Target Master, very, very cool. I really do think it's a very cool Target Master. You might be asking why I don't have him with the Commander set. That's because the Commander set was taken up to my parents about 2 weeks ago. So, of course, me being the idiot that I am just went, oh, well, I don't need this here right now. Duh. Okay, so remember I mentioned about this gun? What this gun can do is you actually peg the gun into the bottom of Shadow Warrior. And that will enable you to hopefully use the gun on other figures. It's not pretty, but it works. And for some figures, especially Onslaught here, this looks pretty badass. I mean, it looks pretty cool, I have to admit. Yeah, it is very tiny, but for a figure of an Ultra class, or even a Voyager class figure... yep, I got a Voyager class figure right here. We'll use Voyager Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon. Oops. It looks like he's just got like an ice cream cone or something. Energon ice cream. Ah, crap. As you heard, I dropped something. And that was the... This thing doesn't actually sit on the peg all too well. That's my biggest complaint, other than the overall fact that the guy's pretty darn small. Yep, Bludgeon can hold him too. Actually, I kind of like him. He looks a little silly because of the peg, but still, who cares? He's a giant gun. Anyway, so positives and negatives of this figure. The positives are, for his size, he is incredibly posable. I am astonished at the posability that I'm getting out of this guy. Other positive is, he looks damn cool. I mean, he looks really, really cool. In both modes. I mean, in the gun mode, he looks like a totally kick-ass gun. And honestly, I just get the feeling that if he was in this mode, he could actually fly like Shockwave. These would act as wings, and you got thrusters back here on the sides. I mean, it looks like he could fly around as a gun. That's very cool. He looks very, very good in both modes. The fact that he can also, wield the, the cannons as, say, ground pounders, another big plus. Major, major props there. And, to be honest, he just looks good. I mean, he just looks good. The paint detailing on this figure is phenomenal. I mean, he's painted well, he looks really cool, very posable. I mean, posability, 360, plenty of posability. His head even moves up and down due to the nature of the transformation, so he can actually kind of fly if you want him to. Plenty of posability in the legs. He's just a sturdy little guy. Negatives. He's little. I mean, this thing, I kid you not, is about the size of 2 cat treats. It's very, very small. Very easy to lose. Very easy to damage. Even though I was going on and on about the paint, I do see on my figure there are spots, like little spots where you could see that the runners were the pieces weren't clipped off the runners very well. When I first got the figure, and I don't know how well you could see that, there were large bits of flash right there on the tip of the fists. I had to trim those down. There are some just weird choices of color. I mean, just random yellow on the figure, which I love yellow. It's one of my favorite colors, but this yellow doesn't work because this yellow is a different color from that yellow. It's just a little odd. Other negative, that's about it. I mean, the size of the figure is the biggest problem. For $35 bucks, you're not really getting a very big figure. Now, I understand that this is a figure that was made by fans, but you never saw how big the figure was. I could have really used that. Unfortunately, I might not have gotten the figure knowing that he's only this big. That's just a nitpick, though. If you've got $30, $30, $40, and you're willing to go with a figure of this size, I really do recommend him, if you're willing to pay that amount for a figure this size. If not, then pass. They might be bringing out other colors later. Check out Frenzy Rumble's channel over there. Simply because he made some really nice repaints of these guys. He's already done repaints of Frenzy and Rumble, which, I gotta admit, he did a killer job. But other than that, the build quality is actually really high. I have to admit. I mean, it doesn't feel, other than the fact that he's so small, it doesn't feel like I'm going to break much, except for these hinges, which are a little tighter than I would like. But other than that, the figure is, for its size, really solid. The only other point of contention is I would have rather that these two pieces just plug together. I would rather there be a plug or something, as opposed to this piece of T plastic. There, that's better. See, that T will go into that hole. It's already marred the paint on the figure already, and while it is tight, I am definitely worried I'm going to rip it apart at some point. So that's a look at PE01 Shadow Warrior. Like I said, if you've got the money to spare and you're interested, go ahead and pick it up. If not, unfortunately, I'd have to say pass. It's not a must-buy, but it's still pretty damn cool.